So, Minions, The Rise of Gru is finally out in theaters. And let me just say this right now, I hated the first movie, and ever since my Illumination video that I made like a year ago, I just I've been waiting for this movie to come out just so I could make fun of it just for this video. But after watching it, it's surprisingly okay, which is amazing when it comes to someone like me who isn't a big fan of Illumination and who just didn't like the first movie whatsoever. But after seeing this, I'm just very surprised. The story for this movie is straight to the point and focuses on the most important parts for this movie. Unlike the first movie, where in the middle of it, it just gets boring and forgettable. The movie takes place in the 70s with a young Gru wanting to join the Vicious Six. They don't want him on their team, so he decides to steal a stone of theirs, and now they're coming after him just for revenge. He decides to give the stone to this minion named Otto, and then he just trades it for a pet rock. After that, we see that Gru gets kidnapped by this guy named Wild Knuckles, who used to be the leader of the Vicious Six, and wants revenge on them, and decides to train Gru into becoming a villain. While that's happening, Kevin, Stuart, and Bob, which were the main characters in the first movie, come back to try and save Gru. While there's also this other side story of Otto also trying to save Gru, and they need to defeat the Vicious Six. The story for this movie is basic and simple, but it works pretty well for a movie like this, which makes me wish that the first movie was basically just this, instead of just being a boring and pointless movie. Then there are the characters like Gru, who kinda gets annoying after a while. I feel like making his voice younger just doesn't work very well, but he was okay, I guess. There are the minions that are surprisingly not annoying, which is surprising when it comes to a movie like this, but yeah, I mean, they do appear, but there was never really a moment where I felt like they were annoying, which is a pleasant surprise. There's also the Vicious Six, which I actually really like their designs. It's something different compared to most designs when it comes to Illumination standards. I like the costumes and, the personalities, but at the same time, they're kind of forgettable. I wish they did more with them. They're not awful characters by any means, but still very forgettable. The same goes for Wild Knuckles as well. I wish they focused a little bit more on Wild Knuckles and Gru, since Wild Knuckles is teaching Gru to become a villain. And sadly, they don't really focus on that much, which kind of sucks. But again, this is an Illumination movie, so it's not that big of a surprise. When it comes to the animation for this movie, it's actually not bad. I mean, it's nowhere near as Pixar level or DreamWorks for that matter, but it still looks pretty good. After 2 years of this movie getting delayed over and over again, I gotta say, this is a movie that is actually alright. And I gotta say, if you want to watch a fun summer movie, this isn't a bad pick. Overall, I give this movie a 5 out of 10. It's not bad, it's not good either, it's just okay. And I would consider that to be just fine. At least it's better than the first movie, and that is very true.